When you think of Nintendo, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Time's up! If you said anything other than Mario, you're just lying to yourself. That chunky Italian is the face of gaming, and he has been a big part of all of our childhoods. From his incredible platformers, from racing and partying with his friends, and of course none other than— oh fuck! Mario is the most recognizable video game character of all time, with some of the most iconic games as well. Super Mario Bros. Is a game that nearly everyone knows, even if they don't care at all about video games. He changed the entire gaming industry with some of the most simple game mechanics. It seems so basic now, but back in the 80s, people played these games like, man, this is pretty fun, but I just wish you could jump. Holy shit! Mario was at the forefront of the trend of adventure platformers in 2D for years, with tons of competitors trying to copy him. But as the competition started to catch up to Nintendo, a new era of gaming began. See, in the mid-90s, we were introduced to this really cool thing called the 26th letter of the alphabet axis. Games began to transition from 2D to 3D, which will forever be one of the biggest landmarks in gaming history. And guess who was the forefront of this transition as well? None other than good old Italian stereotype Mario. And even over 20 years later, Mario is still the standard when it comes to 3D platformers. There was a little gap in there when Banjo-Kazooie was the standard to be compared to, but then Mario stole all of their ideas in Odyssey, and also this shit happened. But for the most part, Mario has always and likely will always have some of the greatest platformers of any genre. And of all the hundreds of games Mario has appeared in, there are two games with some of the most devout followers who will swear by anything that their game is the greatest ever. So with two games with massive followings, why not compare the two and just piss off all the fans that don't agree with me? I haven't done a versus video in a long time, and I said I was gonna do this like months ago, but the time has officially come. It's finally time to compare Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy against each other to see which is the superior game. Let's do this. Super Mario Sunshine was released in 2002 and still has one of the most unique stories of any Mario game to this day. Mario, Peach, and Toadsworth are going on a vacation to Isle Delfino for some reason that is never really explained. Peach sees a shadow of Mario multiple times, but Toadsworth and Mario ignore her because they are dreaming of eating like the fat asses they are. The runway where their plane lands is covered in
icky paint like goop,
and Mario tries to find a solution. Mario finds Flood, the fucking liquid-using device, dude, who he teams up with to clean the runway. After Mario fixes their problem, you'd think the inhabitants would be pretty appreciative, right? Nope, they somehow throw him in jail for looking kind of similar to a criminal on the island, even though they literally are different colors. Not like white skin versus black skin, but like human versus blue paint. Are Piantas colorblind? Because that's the only reason this would make any sense. Mario is tasked to clean up the island, and almost immediately Peach is kidnapped because it wouldn't be a Mario game without that. Peach is saved, and then like an hour later she's kidnapped again and taken to Pinna Park, where we find out that Shadow Mario is actually Bowser Jr. Also, apparently he's Peach's son? Maybe it's just me, but something is wrong with this equation. He runs away with Peach and Mario tracks them down to Corona Mountain where Bowser is taking a bath. This game just gets weirder and weirder by the second. Mario defeats Bowser by flipping a hot tub and kills Flood. That's too bad. The island starts celebrating, Bowser tells Bowser Jr. Peach isn't his mom, and yeah, no shit. And Flood comes back to life. Oh yeah, I was worried. Great. And then the credits roll. Super Mario Galaxy, on the other hand, was released in 2007 and had one of the most groundbreaking stories for a Mario game, both figuratively and literally. Mario was on his way to visit Peach on the night of the Star Festival when, oh no, Bowser kidnaps her. Who could have ever guessed this was gonna happen? Mario gets blasted by Kamek, chases bunnies, and meets a better version of Peach in Rosalina. Mario is then tasked with collecting stars and grand stars to power the Comet Observatory in order to reach the center of the universe and save his, quote, special one. They will really go to any extent to avoid calling Peach his girlfriend. Along the journey, you visit tons of different galaxies, save Luigi from a mansion, and battle Bowser multiple times. Eventually, you'll reach the center of the universe for one of the most cinematic and climactic matchups with Bowser from any Mario game. Mario wins, but Bowser falls into a star which causes a black hole. Wow, things escalated quickly. Rosalina and the Lumas basically rebuild and recreate the galaxy in a brand new way, and everything ends happily ever after. Both of these games have by far some of the most unique Mario stories and definitely were not expected at their times of release. But honestly, I don't really even think this is close. Galaxy far and away has a better story than Sunshine, and that's no shot at Sunshine. But Galaxy just might have the best story of any 3D Mario game. Sunshine has a solid setup for its story, but it still doesn't make much sense for why they would confuse Mario for Shadow Mario. I know they have the same body shape, but they are literally two different fucking colors. Do these two look the same to you? I didn't think so. Galaxy's story just feels much grander and deeper, which may be because it's in space, but that just makes it even better. And no matter what Sunshine has to offer, nothing will match the backstory you get on Rosalina in the library. Reading that book is more backstory than probably every other Mario game combined, so that alone gives Galaxy the superior story. One of the biggest aspects of any 3D Mario game is the hub world that connects everything together, and Super Mario Sunshine and Galaxy have two of the most iconic hub worlds of any Mario game as well. Super Mario Galaxy's hub world is the Comet Observatory where Rosalina and the Lumas live. It's a spaceship that you get more access to as you collect more Grand Stars throughout your journey. It has multiple domes that hold more stages, but they all have weird names that kinda take away from the epicness of the game. Nobody ever said to themselves, "I'm so excited to go on a new adventure, let's go to the bedroom." You know what? I take that back. People have definitely said that, but context matters. The galaxies inside the domes also don't really fit the names or styles of the domes either. You can't tell me that an area called the Garden is the perfect location for a level called Melty Molten Galaxy. That just makes no fucking sense. The Comet Observatory is definitely one of the coolest looking hub worlds in any Mario game, and even with those weird ass names, it left an impression on every single person who spent time there. Super Mario Sunshine takes place on Isle Delfino and centers around Delfino Plaza for its hub. This little plaza is the perfect center for a tropical island, giving off that tropic vibe of the game as a whole, but also showing a more centralized governing city that it's meant to be. Delfino Plaza is without a doubt the most dynamic hub world, as it really feels connected to the rest of the island. Most hub worlds are just some large area with warps to all the levels, which works fine, but Delfino Plaza is so much more than that. Sure, there are just warps to levels, but you need to look beyond that towards the horizon to see what I mean. You can literally see different areas of the island from Delfino Plaza, which makes you really feel more immersed in the world. You're not in some completely gated off area, but literally within eyesight of the levels you're going to get to explore, which I love. And also, Delfino Plaza has so many secrets to uncover. There are 16 shine sprites somewhere in the area, which is about 13% of all the shines in the entire game. And if you want to count blue coins, which we really shouldn't because they are dumb as fuck, but that's a topic for a later date, there are 24 shine sprites strictly from blue coins, which means that there are 40 shines in Delfino Plaza. That is 1/3 of all of the shines in the entire game in just the hub world. This might be the most jam-packed hub world in any Nintendo game of all time. You might think this should be a close competition, but let's not kid ourselves. Sunshine destroys Galaxy in its hub world. Delfino Plaza has so much more to do, and that's not even close. Enemies show up that you need to beat, you have to chase down Shadow Mario, you can complete tasks for blue coins, plus there's all the hidden shines plus a 100 coin shine. The most the Comet Observatory has are like those 5 or 6 hungry Lumas, but all that does is lead to a new level and isn't really something you do in the hub world. Delfino Plaza feels connected to the rest of the game, while the Comet Observatory is just an empty void away from anything else. It feels secluded, and its only really redeeming factor is that it looks kinda cool. Plus, it's basically just a carbon copy of Peach's castle with a spire at the top and you move up as you gain more stars. That comparison might be a bit of a stretch, but the point still stands. Delfino Plaza is infinitely better than the Comet Observatory. Now, let's talk about the level design in these games. Galaxy wins, it's not even up for debate. Okay, I guess I should give Sunshine at least a little bit of a chance. Mario Sunshine has 7 main stages to play through, 8 if you include Corona Mountain. Every level is so much fun to play and range from water to a beach, another beach, more water, another beach. All these levels are the fucking same. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a bit, but these levels definitely feel way more similar to each other than any other game. But that's the risk you take by making the entire game take place on a tropical island. So the levels can only be so different while not just feeling out of place. And still, the levels do have some aspects that make them all unique. Rico Harbor has blooper surfing and a cool boss. Serena Beach has a spooky hotel and promotes gambling addiction. Gelato Beach has 2 of the most annoying shines in the whole game. And Noki Bay has ancient ruins and oh fuck, not you again. All these levels have their own charm and are fun in their own right, but there's just not enough of them. 7 levels is not nearly enough for a full-fledged Mario game, especially when they are all the same damn thing. Now, Galaxy's levels? Oh my god, these might be the best collection of levels from any game, especially Mario game ever. There are 6 domes in the Comet Observatory, each which hold at least 4 galaxies, which gives you a good idea of how many more levels there are than Sunshine. In fact, there are 42 galaxies in this game, which is literally 6 times as many as Sunshine. You could be asking, so what if there are so many galaxies? It doesn't matter if they aren't any good. And to that I have to say, you've never played this game, have you? I would say almost every galaxy in this game is in the top tier of all 3D Mario worlds ever created. The idea of creating different galaxies for each level might have been the most genius idea Nintendo ever had. Because every level is literally an entire different galaxy, the possibilities and ideas for levels are endless because no two galaxies need to be even remotely related. Just look at the bedroom. There you have a garden, a desert, and an ice-fire galaxy all right next to each other with no questions asked. You can literally think of anything and turn it into a galaxy because nobody knows what the hell is out there. That's the biggest drawback of Sunshine. Sure, the levels are technically different, but they all still feel very similar because the entire game is focused on a tropical island. Galaxy doesn't have that limitation and wins by a landslide. Every galaxy is so much fun to play and I always look forward to them. Except for this bullshit. Both of these games are two of the most unique and innovative Mario games ever, especially for their time. Super Mario Galaxy changed the entire way levels were designed and how Mario controlled compared to previous titles. Maneuvering through different gravities is one of the most innovative and fun ideas Nintendo ever had to make the game stand out from the rest. Until Mario Galaxy 2 did the exact same thing, but we're not talking about that today. Shaking the Wii Remote to spin and using the pointer to grab and shoot star bits was such a great idea to implement motion controls into the game without it feeling forced. And all the different power-ups you get access to were mostly all incredible and were kept in check by having time limits for one that could have been overpowered. But all the good things then get immediately taken away by the atrocity that is the f***ing spring mushroom. But still, Mario Galaxy is one of the most innovative and inspired games. Okay, I can only keep this going on for so long. Mario Sunshine wins, and it's not even honestly very close. Super Mario Sunshine is by far the most creative and unique Mario game to ever exist, with the only game being even close being Mario Odyssey. The entire game is played so differently from every other game just by simply giving Mario a Super Soaker and taking away his long jumps. I really want to see the meeting where the developers sat together trying to come up with new ideas for a game and someone just ran in like, I got it! The number of things you can do that aren't possible in any other game is astronomical between the 4 nozzles that you can use. You can run really fast, jump really high, hover to travel across gaps, and be a power washer. The levels are all designed in a way to take advantage of these game mechanics, with secrets being only accessible with certain nozzles. This helps add variety to a game that is definitely lacking in that department. And even better, they also added a few regular platforming secret stages, which are even more fun than normal because it's different from the rest of the game. There's even an entire mission in Pianta Village without Flood, where the entire village is covered in a fiery goop, which is one of the best missions in the entire game. I honestly never thought I would enjoy a Mario game with a water gun, yet here we are. And lastly, what game would be complete without a soundtrack that fits every nook and cranny of the adventure? Super Mario Sunshine has some of the most upbeat and happy sounding music from any Mario adventure. I've never seen a game with all music that sounds so similar, yet so distinctly perfect for every area of the game. The themes really make you feel like you are on a bright and sunny beach, or in a fun amusement park, or in a village in the middle of the jungle with no railings that falling off could kill you. Pianta Village is a fucking safety hazard. There's not one theme in the game that puts you in a bad mood, and I've heard of people playing Sunshine just to do nothing but listen to the music. That should just tell you how good it is. Because Mario Galaxy is a much grander adventure with so many more levels to explore, the game has a much larger variety of themes. Sure, there are happy and cheery songs, but there are also slow space themes, chilly ice themes, and intense themes for all the different Bowser and Lava galaxies. No two themes sound even remotely the same and set the tone for whatever you will run into. This again is sort of the consequences of Sunshine taking place in one solitary area, because the music can only be so different without feeling out of place, just like the level design. Galaxy didn't limit itself to just xylophones and drums, and instead gave us an entire goddamn opera. Don't get me wrong, I love Sunshine's OST, and think it has some of the best pieces of music in any Mario game, but it's just not a fair comparison against Galaxy, whose OST has some of the best themes in any game ever, period. All I'm saying is listen to Buoy-based Galaxy and try to tell me anything in Sunshine comes even close. Except for the secret course theme, that's cheating. So after all of that, which of these two games comes out on top? If you've been keeping score, you know that I believe that Super Mario Galaxy is the superior of the two games. I've laid it all out in this video, and you're entitled to your opinion if you do disagree with me. But if you do think Sunshine is better, I'm sorry, your opinion's just wrong. Pretty much everything about Super Mario Galaxy is just bigger and better than Sunshine, but I really think that just comes down to the concept of the two games. Just think about it. One takes place on a tiny little island while the other takes place over the span of the entire universe. Sunshine is just a bit more limited in its design than Galaxy, and that could make the comparison a little unfair, but I don't give a shit. Galaxy is still better. I'll give you this. Sunshine without a doubt has the more creative game mechanic with Flood, and Delfino Plaza is better than Comet Observatory, but that's it. Galaxy has a better story, music, level design, enemies, bosses, collectibles, and graphics. And yes, I know it should have better graphics because it's on the Wii, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the graphics are still better. Also, you can play as Luigi in Mario Galaxy. Sunshine never stood a chance. But at the end of the day, both of these games are classics and deserve all the praise in the world. They helped mold Mario to where he is today and gave us unique adventures that we may never see again. Until we get a Delfino Plaza Kingdom in Mario Odyssey 2, you heard it here first. We can all disagree on which game is better, but there is one thing we can always agree on, and that's that the A in the Super Mario Galaxy logo is one of the stupidest design choices I have ever seen. In fact, I'm tempted to almost give Super Mario Sunshine the win just for that alone because I think it's so stupid, but Galaxy is such a big lead that I don't think it's even possible for Sunshine to make a comeback. I guess as the kids say, hoes mad.